Welcome to my off-grid cabin. Today I'm going to be installing a diesel heater inside guest accommodation. Alright, so here's the unit. It's just a Vevor diesel 8 kilowatt heater, and I'm going to put it in there. Now before I got here, what you'll notice is I put a cigarette lighter adapter onto it, just a quick solder on. The fuse has been included, but it just was left with two bare wires, and for ease of charging the battery that I'm going to be running it off of, I thought a cigarette lighter is the quickest and easiest way to do it. Didn't take long, simple straight job, probably 5 minutes all up. So before I get going and start the install, I just had a quick look underneath the cabin to see what the floor was made out of. I'm hoping it's a plywood, not steel. I can't tell because it's really well insulated and lots of foam. So what I'm going to do is I've measured it out, and I'm going to drill a small pilot hole where I want it. With just like a 1 or 2 millimeter drill bit, and see if I hit steel. If I hit steel, I'm going to come through the wall. If it's wood, I'm going to go through the floor. All right, here's the unit here from the inside. I might take it a little bit further away from the wall because there's not much space there. And I'm just going to measure under here and for the exhaust, and put a pilot hole right here. So here's the unit from the inside. I might put it a bit further away from the wall. It's pretty tight up there, but I don't think it matters because the air flows from front to back, or back to front. If you look underneath, I'm going to drill a pilot hole somewhere around here that measures up with the exhaust port, which you can see here. All right, from the inside, one's the exhaust port, one's the air intake. Air intake, there's a lot of discussion whether it goes outside or inside. The instructions say inside. I don't really care about the negative air pressure that it creates. That's fine. So yeah, they've supplied this, which fits on, clamps on. One for the air intake, one for the exhaust, and I'm going to try and put it through the floor. So I'll mark it out now and give it a try. Okay, we're at the inside. Just about to measure out where to put the pilot hole to see if I got a steel plate in the floor, if it's hopefully wood. Fingers crossed. One's the exhaust, one's the air intake. The instruction manual says to keep the air intake on the inside of the cabin, and definitely put the exhaust to the outside of the cabin. I'm going to try and go through the floor. Hopefully it's plywood. With a bit of luck, there's no steel plates or beams in the way, and we'll go from there. So here's a bit better version of the bottom. You can clearly see that it's marked out for the exhaust, in for the air, and yeah, I'll go ahead and install the pilot hole now. I've measured it out and I think I got it right. Okay, here we go. Looks like it's wood, so we are good to go. Thank goodness. Okay, the exhaust gets quite hot, so I got to insulate it from the wood floor and foam that's underneath the insulation, to make sure that it doesn't catch fire. So the exhaust pipe is around 25 mil, and it also has a fire blanket to go over as well, but I just want to be extra cautious. So I've drilled out some fiber cement, a 65 mil circumference circle, and then a 35 mil center. So it makes like a washer out of fiber cement. And I'm going to drill a 44 mil hole. And when I'm done the hole, these I'll silicon on with some high temperature automotive exhaust cement. Silicon, I mean. And then, yeah, that should be sufficient. You'll see more as I progress. Okay, drilled the hole successfully, no major issues. I checked underneath to make sure I wasn't going to hit any beams or anything, and everything worked well for once. It's a DIY miracle. So now I've put the heat shield on the exhaust pipe, and I've put the fiber cement washer that I made on, and I'll simply put this through and silicon up underneath the fiber cement onto there. Okay, I simply connected the inlet air intake, and I cable strapped it to the outside, and I I clamped on the exhaust pipe with the insulation, heat insulation, and now I am ready to silicon the fiber cement gasket on the top. Okay, as you can see, I've tried to center it over the hole to make sure it's not touching any wood or anything flammable or combustible. And then I will slide the washer down and seal it all up with the high temperature silicon. And now it's siliconed in. All right, underneath, again, I'm with my fiber cement washer, I tucked it up inside the insulation and ensured nothing is touching, and that should do it. And just installed the muffler, simple hose clamp, and it's getting done. All right, next thing before I fire it up, I'm going to install carbon monoxide alarm as well as a smoke detector. Two simple things. Carbon monoxide I got from local hardware shop, $60. Oh, no, actually I think it was $30, and then yeah, a $20 smoke alarm. So not much for a bit of safety. I'll put it on now. All right, carbon monoxide is installed, and smoke detector is also installed. So we're ready to refuel. Okay, got myself one of these fuel transfer pumps. I'm simply gonna put it in the diesel container and then top up the fuel reservoir. I think that's the best way to avoid splashes and the smell of diesel. All right, I've connected it to my battery from the cigarette lighter, and now I'll refuel. Okay, here's the fuel pump, fuel transfer unit in operation. You just turn the button on here, and the diesel goes into the tank. Pretty simple. Okay, I'm gonna turn my battery unit on. Okay, that's charged up, and I'll come over to this side. That's great, that's providing power here. Now I'll figure out how to turn this on. Okay, on button seems to be this one here.
Start heating.
Now I've been told that these things take forever to get going, could be 15-20 minutes before it starts throwing out heat. So I'll keep you posted. So this is it starting up. It makes some ticking sounds. I'm told that's normal, so we'll soon find out. All right, heater's working and it's throwing out lots and lots of heat. Pretty happy with it. For the price, it's an absolute deal, I think. The first battery I had kept tripping, so I put in another battery. It must be a bigger battery because it's working fine now. I was a bit worried it might have been my soldering of the cigarette lighter, but no, it was the battery. So something to be mindful of. Apparently it's a common issue according to Google. So yeah, pretty happy install, and it does make a bit of a ticking noise. I think it's a fuel pump putting diesel into the engine, into the heater, but yeah, hopefully it's not too much of an issue. This is the exhaust. Pretty quiet. I don't have an issue with it at all. Yeah, it doesn't really blow it too far away, so I'm glad I extended it past the unit so the vapors dissipate. Other than that, I'm pretty happy. So it started out at 15 degrees. It's been going for about a minute. It's up to 16 degrees, so I'll see how long it takes to climb. All right, didn't take too long. Probably 5 minutes before it started blowing out hot air. It's definitely blowing out lots of hot air, so I'm pretty happy with that. This is a very well insulated little cabin, so and it only gets to about 5 degrees here in South Australia, so should be plenty for the job. I had to change the battery because the other battery wasn't a big enough battery and it kept tripping. Other than that, there is a ticking sound, which may be a problem when people are trying to sleep. I did see some videos on how to insulate that to quieten it down, so I might look into that if it's an issue. Thanks for watching.